Greetings, my peeps, and welcome to the All Things Basketball Podcast with your boy GD. In this episode, my Week 9 recap, I'll be talking about the WNPA. They took a vote, guys. I'll tell you how that vote went. Also, the Houston Rockets looking to acquire the Connecticut Sun and relocate them. We'll talk about that also. Naismith Hall of Fame, the class of 2026. The nominees are here. We'll talk about that also. And much more. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, guys, it's your boy GD back with the All Things Basketball with GD podcast. And guys, we are in week 10, which means we'll be recapping week 9, everything that went on, all the different things and what's going on in the league and beyond. So with that said, let us not delay any further. Let's get into it. So, the WNBPA, the Players Association for the players in the WNBA, they took a vote, guys, and it was 93% of the players participated in this vote. You know, you got to take into account everyone that's here in the U.S. and then overseas. Probably those overseas probably couldn't take a part in this, but those here could. And in nearly unanimous fashion, it was 98% of the players have agreed that if the January 9th deadline comes and there's no deal, they're ready to strike, guys. So this is the Players Association throwing down the gauntlet, guys, saying, look, if they're not ready to have a deal in place, we don't want to hear anything about another extension. We're striking. So things are about to get real if there isn't a deal in place come January 9th. So we'll see what happens, but it seems like the players are rolling the dice, if you will, to kind of put pressure on the league, to be honest with you, to come to the table with a reasonable deal. I told you about the sticking points, guys. Revenue sharing, probably the biggest sticking point in all of this. They want a more revenue sharing based salary where just, the salaries can scale upwards as the league grows and blossoms. So there's that. Also, too, housing, that's an issue for the league where they want to do away with that. Also, too, the earlier training camp, I talked about that in the last episode, last few episodes, where they want to do it in early March, like mid-March. So that'll be a problem in more ways than one, whether it be the NCAA tournament that takes place, whether it be Unrivaled. They're wrapping up their season round in March. So all of that is taking place, guys. So you have to bear that in mind. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. But hey, the Players Association said we're serious about this. So we'll see what happens. We still have a couple of weeks for something to get in place. Will it happen? Time will tell. We'll see. So there you go with that. Let us move on. The Houston Rockets, in their ownership, is now in advanced talks to buy and then relocate the Connecticut Sun. Connecticut Sun, they've been in Connecticut since 2003, guys. The Mohegan tribe up there bought the team. Mind you, the team relocated from Orlando. It was the Orlando Miracle. And then the Mohegan tribe bought them, moved them to Connecticut, where they became the Connecticut Sun. And now they're looking to sell to the Houston Rockets. So you're still keeping the team within the NBA family, if you will. So there's that to it. Then you know about the fallout with the whole Boston thing, because there was a talk of having them in Hartford. That didn't come to fruition. So I think the league itself wants that franchise to be sold to the Rockets and therefore have them move there, because a lot of people been clamoring for Houston to get a team back in there. Remember the early success of the Houston Comets. So ever since they've gone, you still had that clamoring for a team there. So there you go with that. But we'll see what happens. But it looks like they're getting hot and heavy with the talk. So look like it may happen sooner than later. But again, this is all with the mindset that the CBA will be hammered out and all of that. But nonetheless, we will see what happens as far as that goes. So another situation to keep an eye on. Let us continue. Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, class of 2026, guys. We now have the nominees for that class, and it goes like this. Actually, we'll start with the first timers that are on the ballot. Jamal Crawford, guys, he's on the ballot. He played in the league 20 years. Wow. Jamal Crawford has. He's a 3-time Sixth Man of the Year award winner. And guys, he played for 9 teams, guys. Wow. And he has scored over 19,000 points in the NBA. So Jamal Crawford making it to the ballot. Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin, he, of course, Jamal Crawford, he was a shooting guard, so that was his position. Blake Griffin was more of a power forward / center, kind of played more center towards the latter end of his career, but more power forward than anything. 13 years in the league, guys. 6 All-Star appearances, 5 times All-NBA, 3 times second team, twice third team, and a Rookie of the Year as well. So Blake Griffin on the ballot for the first time. Joe Johnson, he's a guy who scored over 20,000 points in his career. 18 years in the league, 7 All-Star appearances, guys. And once he made all NBA team, and that was on the 3rd team. And he was on an all rookie team as well. So Joe Johnson, Joe Cool, Joe Smooth is on the ballot for the first time. Bruce Pearl, college coach. He's coached in three different places: Milwaukee, also at Tennessee, and also at Auburn. 25 years as a coach, winning over 700 games in his career, 4 times SEC Coach of the Year, 3 times Horizon Coach of the Year. And so that's Bruce Pearl. Only thing that kind of on his resume as an assistant coach in Iowa, he had this recruiting scandal concerning Deion Thomas. So that's something that hangs over him a bit. But Bruce Pearl on the ballot for the first time. Brandon Roy. Now, he had a career that was cut short, guys, after tearing up his knee. 6 years he spent in the league. 5 of those years with Portland. He retired, then he tried to come back and play with the Minnesota Timberwolves, but he was a shell of himself by then. In those 5 years, guys, with Portland, 3-time All-Star, 2 times All-NBA, guys. Once on the second team, once on the third team. That's how good he was. And a Rookie of the Year. So, will the folks on the committee, will they take into account his career being shorted because of the injury? A la a Terrell Davis, if you're talking football, how his career was cut short. So, and he still made it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Will that happen for Brandon Roy? We'll see. But he's on the ballot. Kelvin Sampson, long-time coach, guys, 40 years as a coach at a myriad of places, guys. Washington State, Oklahoma, Indiana, and as of recently, the University of Houston. 3 times he's made it to the Final Four. And many, many Coach of the Year honors that he received. But Kelvin Sampson on the ballot. Scott Skiles on the ballot. 10 years in the league. He won a Most Improved Player once in his career. And, you know, he was a point guard, your consummate point guard there. No All-Star appearances, no All-NBAs, but I thought it was interesting seeing Scott Skiles appearing on the ballot for the first time. 1996 U.S. women's team that, of course, the women's version of the Dream Team, making it on the ballot, guys. And that team consisted of Jennifer Azzi of Stanford. Also, you have Ruthie Bolton there, Teresa Edwards, Venus Lacey, Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, Katrina McLean, also the late Nikki McCray, Carla McGee, Dawn Staley, Katie Stedding, and Cheryl Swoops. So those are the ladies that was on the squad, guys. So I think they're a shoo-in to make it into the Hall of Fame. I think they're a shoo-in. So Elena Deladon, I've spoken about her many times, guys. She has an incredible resume, guys. WNBA champion, a legend playing at the University of Delaware, the absolute baller. So she's on the ballot. Candace Parker, we know her exploits, guys. As a rookie coming into the WNBA, MVP and Rookie of the Year. Only player to ever do that. That's the kind of history she made. 3 times a WNBA champ. We know about her exploits at the University of Tennessee under the late, great Pat Summitt. So Candace Parker making it onto the ballot for the first time. Michelle Snow, interesting player, also from the University of Tennessee, playing for the late, great Pat Summitt. She spent 13 years in the WNBA, twice an All-Star, the second player to dunk in an All-Star game, of course, after Lisa Leslie did it. So Michelle Snow making it on for the first time. And then as a contributor, Mike D'Antoni. We know as a coach, as an assistant coach, making it onto the ballot for the first time. So, and then you have returning nominees like Rick Barnes, college coach, Gene Bartow, another college coach, Tom Chambers, I've talked about him plenty of times. One of those players with 25,000 points. Every player that has scored 25,000 or more is in the Hall of Fame. Tom Chambers is the only one. I think the other person is Antoine Jameson. Only 2 guys who have scored that many points who are eligible are not in the Hall of Fame. So Tom Chambers, I've been screaming about him making it. He should have made it. Mark Few, college coach there. Penny Hardaway. Robert Horry. You know, there's people who say, oh, he should get in. He got the 7 rings. I'm like, here we go with the ring culture stuff, but that's a story for another day. Kevin Johnson, I've been saying for a long time, if you put a Tim Hardaway in the Hall of Fame, you have to put Kevin Johnson in. They were literally peers at that time. They were one of the top point guards in the game, him and Tim Hardaway. So how can you have Tim Hardaway in and not have Kevin Johnson in? Bill Laimbeer, I think I've said it before. I think Bill Laimbeer will make it, but only as a contributor. I don't think he'll make it as a player. I understand, I get it. What he did as a player does stand out, but you do have the people that have animus against him for the way he played. So I think the way you could sneak him into the Hall of Fame is as a contributor. So that's my take. The late great Maurice Lucas is another player who's making his return on to as a nominee. Sean Marion, The Matrix. I think he's also should. I think he could make it this go around. I think he could. Rolly Massimino, another college coach. You know what he did at Villanova. He's returning to the ballot. Dick Motta, NBA coach. He's coached a few different places. Jim Phelan, college coach. Doc Rivers making it onto the ballot. We know he's won over 1,000 games. Most of your coaches that won that many games are in the Hall of Fame. So Doc Rivers with a legitimate shot. Amari Stoudemire, he's the guy you got to give consideration to. Buck Williams, another one who was on the brink Actually, last year he was a finalist, but didn't make it in. Now, amongst the women, Jennifer Acey, you know I talk about her all the time. I believe she belongs in there. So she's back on the ballot again. She was a finalist last year, by the way. Lisa Bluter, the coach for Iowa, she's on the ballot as well. I thought possibly with all that's going on with Caitlin Clark, I thought maybe she squeezes her way on there, but possibly maybe she'll make it as a finalist this go around. We'll see. Cheryl Ford is very interesting. Short career, only 8 years, but impactful 8 years, guys. 3 times WNBA champion. A tough player inside. And yeah, if you look at her short career, you can make an argument for her being in the Hall of Fame. Shamika Holdsclaw, you know how I feel about her. She's long overdue, guys. Long overdue. What are we even doing? Shamika Holdsclaw belongs in the Hall of Fame. You can't have a basketball Hall of Fame without Shamika Holdsclaw being there. In there. That's my opinion. Taj McWilliams Franklin. I was looking at her. I said, you know, I know she came to Minnesota late in her career and got the 2 rings, but I wanted to see the totality of her career. She has a solid resume, guys. Very solid resume. So Taj McWilliams Franklin, a returning nominee on the ballot. Keisha Penichero, I thought she was in, guys, but she's not. And think about this. She is on the NBA's top 15, top 20, top 25, and she's not in the Hall of Fame? What are we even doing? Keisha Penichero. Like I said, I thought she was in already. The fact that she's not, that's insanity to me. Keisha Penichero should be in there. Ruth Riley's another one. She has a very solid resume. You can make a case for her as well. Mike Tiball, long-time Washington Mystics coach. He coached them to their WNBA championship. He's on the ballot. And Marion Washington, long-time college coach, also making a return. Among the contributors, Marv Albert, I thought he was in too. He's not in as of yet. Mike Fratello, I believe he was on last year. I want to say he was a finalist last year, but I can't remember. But wouldn't it be great if you get both Marv Albert and Mike Fratello in at the same time? You know, both guys work together in the booth, so that would be interesting. Johnny Red Kerr, a fine player, and then he later became a broadcaster. He's on there. Jim McCloskey, part of the Detroit Pistons front office. He's on the ballot. Johnny Most, you know him, the voice of the Boston Celtics, especially during those dynasty years. So they got him as a contributor as a nominee. Gene Shue, another NBA coach, also on the contributors list. Sonny Vaccaro. I made a case for him last season, guys. Shout out to Nisha Butler, who I follow on Instagram. She kind of laid the case out. I was like, yeah, that makes sense to me. So, Sonny Vaccaro, he should be in there for crying out loud. And then Donnie Walsh. You can definitely make a case for him. A guy who's a front office genius. He should be in the Hall of Fame, guys. As far as international, Dave Black, you can make a case for him. NBA coach, and then what he did internationally, you can make a case for him. Marc Gasol, definitely a case could be made for him making the Hall of Fame. Andrew Gaze, I thought he was in already. Australian legend in the game of basketball. Not in the Hall of Fame, but a nominee. And Andrei Kirilenko, AK-47. He's a guy you could definitely make a case for putting him in the Hall. So a lot of worthy candidates, guys. So we'll see how things shake out as far as that goes. And last thing I'll talk about as far as women's goes, actually, I may squeeze a number in. Sylvia Fowles, who, speaking of the Hall of Fame, she made it in the class of 2025. Guys, she's going to join the Portland coaching staff. So she'll be assistant coach there. She'll probably work with the bigs, more likely than not. So I think this is a tremendous get for that staff there. So kudos to them for bringing in a Sylvia Fowles. She's someone who can get in there and teach the bigs. So definitely a great get for that staff. So kudos to them for that. And I did want to speak about a player that's getting a lot of notoriety. I see it all over Instagram. Player in college, Audi Crooks, guys, playing for Iowa State. She is 6'3". She's a junior, has one more year to go, guys. She's been killing it so far this year, guys. She's had 3 40-point games, right now averaging nearly 29 points per game, nearly 6 rebounds, averaging well over 71% from the field. Good gracious. And it's funny because I heard people say, oh, she's doing that against no-name colleges. Wait until she plays in a conference. Wait until she plays this, more known teams or whatever the case. But she's still doing it, guys. She just dropped a 40-piece on Kansas. So, and I was looking at her schedule, guys. She has 3 ranked teams on her schedule. That's not her fault. But right now they're undefeated at 13-0, looking great. So, a lot of people figuring out how to stop her, once you get the ball inside, just double team her. But it seems like everybody's playing her straight up, and I don't know if they're hoping she tires or something, but this girl has a motor, man, and she's getting it done. So, she's a player early in the running. You can make a case for being player of the year. You can make a case for it right now, the way she's playing. I know it's early. I understand. We're only in December. A lot can happen between now and the end of the season. But right now, she looks like a solid player, guys, who's getting it done for a team that's undefeated, by the way. So I think this is a team that could easily get to 25 wins, maybe flirt with 30. That's how well they're playing, guys. So shout out to Audi Crooks. Wonderful basketball player, wonderful human being as well. Kind of player I root for. So nice to see her doing her thing in college. So there you have it. All right, guys, that's enough of the women's talk. Well, kind of women's and then Hall of Fame talk. Let's talk NBA right quick, shall we? As we always do, we'll talk about the players of the week. And in the West, Jaren Jackson Jr. for the Memphis Grizzlies. We haven't had a lot to cheer about lately, but Jaren Jackson Jr. getting it done for this past week. His Memphis Grizzlies went 2-1. It's funny because they beat the Clippers on the road. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road. But they lost at home to Washington, a bottom-feeding team. So go figure. They could easily went 3-0, but what can you do? For the week, he averaged 27 points per game, 8 rebounds, little over 3 assists, and nearly 3 blocks per game, guys. Wow. That's the kind of week that Jaren Jackson Jr. had. Shot it from the field, 55.6%. He was 9 of 15 from 3, guys. Wow. And of his 15 free throws, he hit 12. So, Jaren Jackson Jr. playing well for the Memphis Grizzlies. Again, it's been a kind of a rough season over there, but Jaren Jackson Jr. getting it done. And then for the East, this guy's had a fantastic week all the way around. Captain Clutch, Jalen Brunson for my New York Knicks, who went 3-0. Because if you have to include, they had it as 2-1, but you got to include the cup too, which I did, and I used those figures as well. 3-0, winning the cup on Tuesday, beating the San Antonio Spurs, and then coming out of the cup, they went on the road to Indiana, beat them. Actually, it was him who hit the game-winner three-point goal that put the Knicks ahead for good in that game. They beat the Miami Heat on Sunday, where he dropped the 47-piece on them. Wow. But they did lose to Philadelphia on a back-to-back, by the way. So there you have it. They just ran out of gas, I thought. So for the week, Jalen averaged nearly 30 points per game. Wow. 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Didn't shoot it that great from the field. Nearly 44%. From 3, 12 of 33. It's all right. And 26 free throws he took, made 22 of them. So Jalen Brunson with a heck of a week. His team winning the NBA Cup, a few extra dollars in his pocket, and he walks away with Player of the Week. So there you go. All right, guys, so let us continue. All-Star voting is now underway, guys. That took place on December 17th. So now you can do all your voting now, guys. So, while I was talking about the NBA Cup, a couple of things on that before I finish. NBA Cup All-Tourney team. Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks. Luka Doncic of the LA Clippers. DeAaron Fox of the San Antonio Spurs. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Karl Anthony Towns, New York Knicks. So that's your All-Tourney team. And again, they set records, guys, for viewership as far as the NBA Cup goes, in the semis and in the finals, guys. So interest is up as far as the NBA Cup goes. And hey, that's because you had New York Knicks in it, and their rabid fans were probably viewing it all over the place. So there you have it. All right, guys. So let us continue. Like I said, the All-Star voting has begun on December 17th, guys. And I think what's happening is I think they're allowing people to vote like they normally vote. And then as the results come, that's how they figure out all this USA team, the 2 of those, and then the world team. And however they're doing this all-star thing, the round robin and all that. So take with that what you will. So anyhow, but yeah, so it looks like the voting is regular because you're voting for 5 guys from the West, 5 guys from the East, because I went to check it out for myself, and it looks like that's the way it's going now. So if it happens to be international players in there, they'll divvy it up or what have you. So, again, I'm still at a loss as far as how that's going to shake out. But there you go. What can you do? All right, guys. So let us continue on. The last thing I'll cover, and then we'll save the rest for part 2. Cooper Flagg, guys. Haven't talked about him much this season, but Cooper Flagg he's done it. He's become the youngest player to drop 40 points or more in a game ever. And he did that on December 15th in an overtime loss, though, at the Sacramento Kings, guys. In that game, he dropped 42 points, shot 3 for 27 from the field, only 1 of 4 from 3, didn't take a lot of threes. He went to the line 20 times, guys, and sank 15. Wow. And add to that 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 blocks. Cooper Flagg dropping 42 at the age of 18 years and 359 days before his 19th birthday. And this is how it shakes out as far as your scorers under the age of 20. Cooper Flagg, number 1, like I just said. And he beats LeBron James, by the way, who did it at the age of 19 years old plus 88 days. He dropped 41 points in the game. Number 3, and I was stunned by this. I forgot this even happened. Gilgeous Jackson II. He did that for the Memphis Grizzlies, and he did that at the age of 19 plus 119 days. He dropped 44 points. So, in other words, Gilgeous Jackson II is the highest scoring young player under the age of 20. Let that sink in, guys. There it is. So he's third. Kevin Durant, no surprise, is fourth. He did it at the age of 19 plus 200 days. So he drops 42 in the game, guys. And then the last person, Anthony Edwards, he did it dropping 42 at the age of 19 plus 225 days. So that is your list right there, guys. And in that game that Cooper Flagg dropped to 42, Keontae George wait a second. My mistake. This was against Utah. Unbelievable. Against Utah. It was in an overtime loss, by the way, guys. Keontae George, 37 points, guys, and he drops 5 threes in the game. 6 assists, 5 rebounds. And then Lauri Markkanen with a fantastic game, 33 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, guys. Wow. So that was the game. Cooper Flagg, he scored those points in. So yeah, but let me double check and make sure. No, I ain't going crazy. Yep. So against the Utah Jazz. So there you go. Cooper Flagg making history for the Dallas Mavericks, although in a loss. So, all right. Thank you for listening. All Things Basketball with GD.com is the website. There you can find my clips, my full episodes. Also on the website, my donate buttons, PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, Spotify donate. Those are the ways you can give to the show, as well as my Cash App, $GD that sports do, $GD that sports do. Give the gift of giving, guys. It's the holiday season where you give. So why not give to the All Things Basketball podcast? So there you go. Also, guys, I'm on YouTube. I have my YouTube channel there. They also have clips and full episodes. Also, social media, Instagram, TikTok, some Blue Sky, some Facebook. And yeah, that's it. Oh, and my email, of course, all things basketball GD at outlook.com. Write the show, guys. Write the show. I could very well read what was written, as far as emails go. I could read it on the show. That's fine. So feel free to write us. All right, guys. So with that said, I'll come back to you with part 2 of my week 9 recap. And then part 2, fines and ejections, guys. And our good buddy is part of that list, Draymond Green. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, I thank you for listening. As always, we'll talk soon. Take care.